Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Jay here, aka Mojoautographs, coming at you guys from this December 5th of 2019, 20 days before Christmas. What up? Hope you guys are all doing well. Happy holidays. Coming at you guys with the episode of the Mojoautographs podcast. Today's topic, this is going to be episode 4. In today's episode, I'm going to talk to you guys about how I got into autographing. I think this is a big thing that people always ask me about. One thing I want you guys to understand is, I wasn't that type of kid that wanted to be interested in sports cards or any of that stuff. When I was a kid, I collected Yu-Gi-Oh cards and Pokemon cards, and we did dueling and all that stuff. If you have kids or you know someone that's in the 20 range right now, then Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon was a big part of our life. I never was really into sports cards. I went to sports games and everything, which is weird. When I was a kid, I did have a fascination with souvenirs, and I thought the idea of an autograph was kind of weird. But when I was a kid, I used to think about it and be like, man, it'd be cool to high-five a player. I actually have this vivid memory at the California State Fair. They had these motocross guys, and I didn't ask for any autographs, though. I kind of left and went to do the rides, but I noticed in that moment, I felt that feeling I feel when I get a cool autograph when I was a kid, but then I never resumed the interest into it. I kind of just let it go. But on February 20th of 2010, something changed in me. I went to this Clippers game, and I stood on the sidelines and had my ticket, and Jason Thompson on the Sacramento Kings was coming over to sign autographs, and I was freaking out. I thought to myself, oh my God. So I held my ticket out, and I had him sign it, and he had to actually put his thumbprint into the autograph. But it was my first autograph ever, and I stared at that ticket, and gosh, you would have thought I had $1 million in my hand. I thought, wow, how cool is this? I got Jason Thompson's autograph. This is amazing. And the next thing that happened was after the game, I noticed people were getting autographs after the game from the home team, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever. The Sacramento Kings, my favorite basketball team, and they were signing autographs after the games for people. Somebody was getting Omri Caspi, and this guy sold me an 8x10 photograph for $10, which was absurd. And then I went to the team store and bought a photo file Dante Green photo and got that signed. And after the game, so basically at the end of the night, I had Omri Caspi, Dante Green, and a Jason Thompson smeared ticket. And let me tell you, I had arrived. I thought it was the best moment of my life. And it was pretty cool. The reason that sparked it was I just kept going out there. I started going to more games, and I built friendships with people, some of the autograph people, and we'd see each other every time. And then started going to the team hotel a little bit. Kind of caused some problems there, I'm not gonna lie. The thing about autographs you have to understand is it's a territorial thing. If you're a new guy autographing, you have to realize that nobody's going to hand you info. You're never going to be welcomed with opening arms, and people aren't going to say hey man, can I help you get something signed? It's not like that. Autographing is kind of competitive. I'm not going to lie, when a new person shows up, I'm not very thrilled to meet them at first. I will say that I did meet this guy KP2 Cards at the Suns game, and that was one of those people that he noticed me in public, and he's like, are you Mojo Autographs? And I said, yeah. And he's like, I'm KP2 Cards. And it was just it was a different experience for me. I actually didn't think anything weird of it. I thought it was cool that I met him, and it was just a new autographer I'd never met. Usually when a new autographer comes, every autographer's like, who the frick is this guy? Who is this? They start with one, and then they start bringing their family, their cousins, their kids, their nephews, and all this stuff, and then the hotel gets destroyed. Anyway, the whole thing is if you're a new person graphing, I was a new person. I thought I was the shit. I was making YouTube videos, and I thought it was so cool that I could stand up to the autograph people who I felt they were discouraging me from getting graphing. The truth of the matter was I was lying to myself. I was in complete denial. These autograph people just didn't want to welcome me with open arms because it was their territory, and they didn't want me to ruin the autograph spot. And my dumbass, I decided to put the hotel and everything else on YouTube, made a big mistake, caused a shitstorm, and the rest is history. I made enemies very quickly while autographing in the beginning of my autographing career in 2011-ish, 2012, 13. After the lockout year, I started to fit in a little bit more. I started to work together with the autograph people, and what it came down to was I just needed to mature a little bit, and I needed to realize dude, my place in this autograph thing is I'm just trying to do the same thing everyone else is doing. I'm not different than anybody. I don't need to talk any smack to any of the graphers. All of us can respect each other and have fun and joke around at the same time. I guess the unifying thing was dude, I just started working together with these guys. They were cool. It wasn't their fault. I was just being a snob when I was first graphing, and I didn't like the idea of not being accepted, because I'm all about, when I was younger, in my younger days, I was kind of a rebellion. If you didn't like me, I tried to not like you first. I know that sounds crazy, but that's the God honest truth. That's where my mind was, and it's pretty sad, but that's just a reflection on my own character. Obviously, I built my character throughout the years, but it is what it is. When you put yourself behind a camera and all that stuff, you have to expect to hear it from both sides. Some positive, some negative. Anyway, so the lockout year was pretty good. I'm just kind of reflecting my graphing years. Year 1 was a trial run. Year 2 was pretty good. Started to do the hotel a little bit more. Year 3 was the NBA lockout year, which was kind of crazy. Wasn't into the celebrity graphing scene yet, still into all basketball. Then, the lockout year, the best graph I got, I'll never forget it, April 26th of 2012, I got Kobe Bryant's autograph. He signed at the hotel. I could not believe that Kobe signed for me. It was one of the most insane experiences. I still was doing the YouTube recaps, all that stuff. Didn't really repair any relationships with graphers. We were just kind of like, hey, I'm here, you're there, let's just keep our distance, and I was kind of a spaz. Anyway, so year 3 was kind of whatever. Year 4 was like the last hurrah. I'm a senior in high school. I mean, we're coming down to the launch. Like, this is it. This is the end. And my senior year of high school, I knew I was going to go ham. Like, I started to get more into the celebrity scene, but like, it was just a disaster. Like, I got punked. Joe Montana was in town one time, and I was like I got a hint from one of the graphers who, I mean, I'm not going to lie, I was a kind of a, not a great person to. I was a mean person to this grapher, and he had told me that I should go to the Doubletree Hilton and get Joe Montana. And if you don't know what the Doubletree Hilton, and let me tell you something, Joe Montana ain't staying at no Doubletree Hilton ever. And I raced over. He sold me an 8x10, and this is all fun and jokes, by the way. I think it's hilarious. At the time, it was not hilarious. It's like a grapher hazing thing. So I go in and grab the photo from him, and I go to the Doubletree Hilton. I show up there, and I'm running into the lobby, and I don't see Jack. So I finally fess up after 30 minutes. I look at the security. I'm like, hey, has Joe Montana come here? And the guy looks at me. He's like, yo, man, Joe Montana's not coming here because he's not staying here. I haven't seen him. Called the grapher, and I just hear all the graphers laughing on the other end. That was like part of grapher hazing. It is what it is. That's why I told you, like, I was strictly NBA, and then that was the first chance I had with that. So Joe Montana was a failure. I got Kevin Love that night. Kind of was just chasing something else. Kevin Love was super cool, though. I was actually kind of lucky to get Kevin Love. Senior year, boom, we're done. I finished graphing. DeMarcus Cousins and I are following each other on social media. I mean, I'm going to every game, and DeMarcus Cousins and I are just like, chopping it up and stuff after most of the games. And that's what kind of kept me going. DeMarcus Cousins in the NBA was really cool for me because he really was like a role model for me in high school, and he still is. He would be there for me, and it was kind of cool. Like, it was just a cool friendship to have with an NBA player. A lot of people ask me how it established. That's a whole, I can't even explain it in one podcast. It's just like been a span of like just constant like respect, and stuff. So he's one of my favorite players, and that means a lot to me. He's an amazing player, and unfortunately suffered some injuries, but he was always great to me, and I've never forgotten that. He played a big role in my life, man. When stuff wasn't going well and when stuff was amazing, he was there. So it was kind of cool. He followed me on social media. I got his game used jersey in my senior year of high school. I'm able to get DeMarcus Cousins to give me his game used jersey. I had been wanting that for my whole life. Since he got in the NBA, I wanted his game used jersey, and he hooked it up. It was so cool. And I did skip school the next day. This is the end of the NBA season. I'm wrapping this up on this one, but I skipped school the next day because I wanted to get him to sign it because I thought the Sacramento Kings were going to leave and move to Seattle, and I had told him I'd be there. And I'm on the property of the Kings facility, and they were trying to kick me off, and then DeMarcus finally comes out, signs, and he calms the situation down, pulls over, and he signs this jersey for me, puts the date on it and everything. And I told him, man, if the Kings don't stay, I want to thank you for everything. You're one of the best role models I've ever had. And it was just a really cool moment, and he and I got to stay in touch. And the silver lining was the Kings didn't leave, and he and I stayed in touch on Instagram and all that stuff. It was really cool. Then we kind of transitioned to my first year of college. I decided to go to the Midwest. It kind of was pretty crazy out there. I actually stopped graphing. We had Autographs 101 rolling throughout high school. Didn't really mention that, but it was kind of low key. But that group, like, it just did not blow up until I moved to Los Angeles. But that wasn't during this first year of college. It was kind of getting up there. The group was definitely pushing numbers. I was running that big YouTube. My YouTube channel had like 1,500 to 2,000 subscribers strong. I mean, I was like, it is like what my Instagram is like today, but it was insane how many people were watching my videos. Like, I was getting 30 comments on every video, which was crazy. That was a fun time on YouTube, and I was doing group breaks and all this stuff. But anyway, I go to college, I party, have fun, do all that stuff. I quit graphing. I was just kind of over it. I needed to get that college experience. I'd been told that from other people, and I definitely got it. It was fun. I graphed maybe like 2 or 3 times, but for the most part, I was just learning how to live by myself and doing the independent college gig. Then that ended. I came back, decided to take my talents to Los Angeles. My sister was going to UCLA. I said, I'll go to Santa Monica College. I tell you, dude, Los Angeles and New York are insane for autographs. There's so much going on. Crazy. It was a circle of NBA graphing that just expanded into entertainment. Always someone famous around. I mean, I had such good connections in Los Angeles with TMZ, and my buddy was a big paparazzi in LA, and I'm still good friends with all of them. When I go to LA, it's insane. And I'd be graphing Kevin Durant at 2 a.m. and then go for Sylvester Stallone at a restaurant in Beverly Hills and stuff. It's pretty crazy to see how the transition went. And then to pack it in for you. I mean, this is how days were. Like, I'd be like going in to a day not knowing what we're gonna go for. We show up to LAX, get some flights, get some autographs. Then we show up to Kimmel, try to hit that. Then we try to hit a premiere. And then at the late night, you're fishing for people at restaurants while an NBA team is coming in at the same time. And now with the NFL and MLB, it's like, dude, it's insane in LA. The thing that LA taught me was you cannot be everywhere at once. And that kind of sucks in a way, but you have to pick and choose your battles. And what I noticed in LA was LA was for sure the business. Like, you were going there to make money. And there was a lot of elbows thrown, competitive autographing. There was boards flying everywhere, grapher fights. TMZ was always in a battle with us at the airport. I mean, there was times when like TMZ would block at the LAX, they'd block us while Jennifer Gardner's coming off, and they'd block us with the carts, and we're like sitting there trying to block their shots with our photo boards. So it's pretty crazy, man. It's when Autographs 101 exploded. When I was in Los Angeles, everyone was posting successes. We were booming off. I started going to spring training, and spring training was insane. My first year I get Koufax. Fast forward, I do Tahoe for the first time, Lake Tahoe golf tournament, and celebrity golf tournaments are amazing. Good chance to get who you need, and that was fun too. Got to meet people there, and it was cool. When I would be in Tahoe, people would be like, yo, are you Jay from Autographs 101? And I'd be like, yeah, and I would kind of brush it off, but I didn't realize is what we created with Autographs 101 was just a platform for people to make money, have fun, make friends. I mean, I wouldn't have known half of you guys if it wasn't for Autographs 101 or social media. So it's kind of cool how the hobby kind of expanded. After that Tahoe trip, we're transitioning into like recent times here. I decided to move up to Sacramento, kind of start graphing here, but I'm going back and forth. I take a year off of college. I don't really talk about this, but I took a year off college and I started going back and forth. If you go on my page when the Warriors were I was doing the Warriors a lot more. That's when I was going from Sacramento to LA. I'd spend like 3 weeks in LA and then come back to Sacramento, then go spend 5 weeks in LA, come back to Sacramento. And it was crazy. It was insane. Like I got to graph for like a year just like doing this. The reason I did it was I think I don't know. I don't recommend taking time off school, but I did personally because I needed to find out what the hell I wanted to do in my life. And it ended up paying off because what happened was Santa Monica College did transfer over, and like the long story short on that, I'll get to it on my college stuff, but I took that time off. I graphed a lot. I mean, I was graphing rappers. We were doing the Warriors like for a week straight, and it was just fun, man. Those were I will never forget the LA nights. Like I watched Karl Towns' opening night playing against the Lakers, and that was pretty crazy. I got to meet him up. In between all that, I did the ESPYs and all that stuff. And we'll fast forward to like 2016, which was probably the most insane year of my life. That's the year we lost Sahar, my sister, and that was spring training, man. That was my last spring training. And once that happened, it changed everything. I knew I had to do what I loved, so I stayed out in spring training. I was the last one to see my sister. It's so sad how she passed away, a blood clot, and it destroyed my family a little bit. But you know what, man? Every tragedy, you come out the other end for sure. Like it just shows you life short. And for someone like me, I mean, I miss my sister to this day, but I was the last one to get to see her, and my sister did allow me to live with her in LA, which was like a no-go by my parents. And my sister definitely was like an older sister that made sure nothing bad happened to me, and I'm very grateful for that. So I love my sister, man. Rest in peace, Sahar. I love you. That was an interesting year. I graphed spring training, and I was just like, I was in my head a lot, and a lot of people there was sympathy there, and I really appreciate what the autograph community did. One of the coolest things I got to do was my parents got behind a camera and thanked all you guys for supporting me, because I'm not going to lie to you guys, man, when my sister died, I was off the charts, man. I was really just off the grid, and I don't know, man. I just felt like I was out of the zone. I felt like I was lying to myself, thinking I was okay, but in reality, I wasn't okay. I was actually suffering, and I did use autographs as like a helpful thing, but I had to grieve in my own way, and it took time. So that happened to my sister, and that kind of hurt the family. And then after that happened, I went to San Diego All-Star, and we kind of were getting in the groove there. Spent a lot of time out there in San Diego. We did the ESPYs. I ganged up with Simon, Frankie, Ben Hatch, and some other people, Neil Patel, Alex Kosla. We all grouped up into like a San Diego hotel, like a one of those like hostel things. It was pretty cool. I drove from Sac to LA. In LA, I went to this YG concert. I graphed like some random stuff out in LA, and then I drove to San Diego. After I drove to San Diego, I met up, picked up everyone from the airport, and we started graphing right away. Did the Futures game, all that good stuff. And then the last 2 years, I'll sum it up for you guys. Like I've definitely had to find a balance in my life, man, with autographs and life. I mean, I got back into school. I was in a relationship, and I got into I got my marketing degree, and then I kind of finished up there, and I kind of was like, it was a little standstill. Then that relationship ended, and I had to find myself a little bit more, spend some more time off. After I lost Autographs 101, I got removed as an admin and kind of just moved on with my life. That was a huge chapter of my life that needed to end. I know people are like, what the heck, but I gotta be honest with you, it was good when it was good, and it's gone now for me, and I just focus on Instagram and everything else, and I like it. I still embrace the autograph community. I try to do this in a balance, man. I know life's short and you really need to embrace life's moments and enjoy your life. Autographs will always be there. You never know when you'll be able to have like a cool relationship, or one day you're going to be able to play sports, and then the next day you're not. You have to think about that stuff. And I'm not judging anybody. There's times when I've spent more time getting autographs than I should have been doing my life stuff, and it's just a balance. The thing about autographs is it's like a drug, man. Autographs is really addicting. The thing about me is I learned to balance it just like anything else in my life. If I can develop a proper balance, it's a lot easier to handle. The last 2 years has been amazing, man. I've autographed, had fun. I've learned from my mistakes, and I've just been having fun out there, man. As far as the autograph community, I think the autograph like business and hobby is in good hands with all you guys. Something I've learned is like the autograph community and the experience is what you make it, right? If you're gonna have a negative attitude, it's just not gonna work. And I know plenty of people with just absolutely just the worst bad attitudes I can talk about. And I'm not talking about they're mean. I'm talking about their entire attitude and their philosophy and their perception of what's really going on is completely different from mine. Now that I realize it, and as I mature at 25 years old, I come to realize that the negativity is like the worst thing for me. I try to keep this positive attitude, and obviously it's not easy to remain positive, but like when I'm graphing, I try to make the most of it and have fun. I try to lose the frustration and future tripping and like thinking like, oh yeah, it's not going to work out. I do get anxious still, but like as far as the community goes, the community is in good hands for us. I mean, it's based on the participation. I try to participate in the autograph hobby as much as I can, sharing stories, experiences, and all that, because I don't know how long we're all going to be doing this. What if the community dismantles like it did with YouTube? I've always been, people ask me why I've been so involved in social media with autographs. I have to, as I look back, I'm not being cocky or tooting my own horn here, but I utilize social media to really make something out of an autograph community similar to what someone would do with the gaming community, and I'm actually very proud of myself, to be able to use this platform to not only market and share experiences, but to actually allow people to learn, how to basically autograph, what pen not to use, what should you get signed, stuff like that, to pass it on to someone else. That's actually been kind of one of my main goals. Even that, when I was first graphing, I kind of just like realized that, I'm helping people out as much as I can, but I just want people to have a fun experience here. Anyway, guys, I want to thank you guys for listening to the podcast. I've been getting a lot of positive feedback. I think this is good for me to be able to talk and reflect on autographs like this. It's a good reflection for me, and I get to listen to this one day and look back. But the memories that I have and I get to share on here are pretty awesome, man. I won't, I could never give those up. So I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast, and I'm gonna be in LA, but when I come back, I will shoot episode 5, and we will start featuring people on here, just kind of getting the gist of the recording. So thanks, guys, for listening. I'll talk to you guys later, and if you're racking, keep getting it. See ya.